Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. You are listening to The Doghouse with your hosts, Husky and Updog.
Hey, what's up, fellow gamers? It's good to be back. You're listening to The Doghouse, your one-stop shop for gaming news, reviews, and discussion.
As you can see, we aren't in the same room right now because whole COVID thing happened.
The world is going through a major patch update right now, so we had to stream from separate locations.
Going through a bit of a hot fix right now.
Yeah, one of the patch updates was removing Dingo from the character roster, so couldn't patch him. Just too broken.
It's too broken. Too many gangoos. Dingo is currently busy with collegiate pursuits, so he is elected to not be on this season, which is fine. But we still got a show for you, and this time, since we're recording it, we're not able to do a live format because of this. But yeah, but today we still have some hot, steamy gamer news for you. So let's jump right into
We've actually got like a backlog of all the gamer news we weren't able to report on.
Yes.
While we were in the break, so
yes,
we got a full plate today, to say the least.
Definitely. We're gonna jump into our top of the hour.
Top of the hour.
Oh yeah, still smooth like silk. All right. So our first top of the hour. Are you gonna cover the first top of the hour, or should I?
I'll go first, I think.
Okay.
So earlier today, Square Enix announced the release of Nier Replicant Remastered, which is a re-release, like a remake of the first Nier game. So Nier Replicant Remastered, or Nier Replicant version 0.1.22474487139, that is the official title, is coming to Windows and Windows PC and Xbox One and PlayStation. What?
Are you serious?
I am serious. That is the title. Nier Replicant version 0.1.22474487139. That is what they're calling it. I didn't.
You just remembered.
I don't know. I don't know what this. I don't know what to tell you, dude. Nier is eccentric to say the least.
358
but yeah,
over
it's coming to Windows PC, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, April 23rd of next year. So if you're a fan of Nier, or you're looking for a point to get into the series, this is a good opportunity to do so.
So as of yet, there actually is no PS5 and next-gen Xbox version coming.
They haven't announced it, but it is. I would expect to see it on those consoles because both of them are kind of they're backwards compatible, or at least they say they are. So
now on the next top of the hour, there is a new announcement. So you guys have heard of Google Stadia?
Have I? No. What is that?
Google Stadia was a cloud streaming kind of service that was designed to it was designed by Google to stream games, but it had like a bunch of weird things. You had to buy, first of all, you had to buy the games full price still, and you still had to subscribe to their service. And then they said they had this phantom lag reducing effect, which sounded like total just malarkey. It was Google Stadia.
I think I remember seeing ads for this on YouTube. They were talking about how like your game could move like from one screen to another, like across monitors or something.
It was awful because it was all based on internet. Now there might be a future in that at some point, and Amazon sure seems to think so because they are releasing Amazon Luna. Now they already own Twitch, so it's kind of a interesting thing. It looks like they're going to be trying to get into the cloud gaming market and compete with Xbox, who is also looking to get into that market at some point. But the difference is all the games, they have like 100 games available at launch that you don't have to buy. And I don't think you'll have to buy the games. I think it'll just be part of their $5.99 like a month commitment. That's just like so it's more like a service, gaming as a service model rather than anything. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. I'm not sure what games are available on it now, but 100 games is a lot of games, and I'm sure they're not gonna.
Mm.
I'm sure they're not gonna pack it full of games that nobody wants to play. So, I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they're gonna do with that.
There's got to be at least one winner out of 100 games. There's got to be at least one good. Hey, you know what? Fortnite is looking like there's that whole Fortnite Apple,
Yeah.
I guess, conflict going on. So maybe since Amazon owns Twitch, they would want to pick up Fortnite.
Yeah, I can see Fortnite as being like a natural kind of jump to that because this seems like something that's like geared towards people who kind of I don't know if you can say grew up on mobile gaming. That's weird to think about that people grew up on gaming on mobile things, but for that kind of audience that wants that kind of game, Fortnite seems like a obvious pick, or any kind of other battle royale game. I'm sure.
Right.
But yeah, anything that's free that you can kind of keep pumping quarters into, I'm sure those are the games that are going to be big on it. But yeah, who knows? I don't imagine like big single player games are going to be it, but they might. Who knows?
There might be. There's probably going to be one or two, like out of 100 games. What if it was just 100 battle royale games?
That'd be something. So as of yet, Amazon hasn't confirmed when it's going to be widely available. They revealed it on September 24th, though. But you can request early access on the Amazon website if you live in the U.S. So it looks like there's going to be some sort of beta program. But yeah, and I think they're kind of looking to strike while the iron is hot because there's been like an 8-month delay between the announcement and release of Google Stadia. So I think they're going to try to get it out as fast as possible. And I'll be interested to see what that looks like. Moving on to the rest of the top of the hour. I think we'll finish with yours last, but there's a Yakuza live action movie being made.
Okay. What?
There's a Yakuza live action movie being made. So currently in the current year. So Sega is looking to develop a live action Yakuza movie, likely off the heels of the big success of the Sonic movie, which is the first successful thing Sonic's done in a long time. I wish Dingo were here. So alongside 1212 Entertainment and Wild Sheep Content, and this is according to Polygon.com, Sega is currently developing a live-action movie based on the Yakuza franchise. The studios are currently looking for somebody to pen the script. So this is very much still in the kind of development area. They really haven't written the script yet, but it's out there. It's being made, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm very excited because Yakuza kind of lends itself to being more a cinematic movie anyways.
Yakuza is definitely one of those cinematic games that's kind of based around, not to say the gameplay is bad by any means, but it is definitely all about like the sort of the ambiance and the performance of the characters.
And there's a lot of weird stuff in it too, and I really hope
it's gonna be really weird.
I really hope that makes it onto the floor for the movie. So I want all the weirdness. But yeah, so I know you're excited about that. I'm pretty excited. I hope it'll be a good movie. So it'll be the first if it is.
Yeah.
But that's what all we have for the top of the hour. So without further ado, this is usually when we'd have a break.
There are no breaks. The train does not stop. You're getting your news, reviews, and discussion whether you like it or not. Yeah. So buckle up.
Buckle up.
And get ready.
All right, then. Moving on to the meat.
So tasty.
Delicious. Right. So, as you guys probably have heard, a lot of games came out over the break while we weren't here to report on.
Yeah. A lot of games. A lot of games that I was looking forward to report on that I didn't get to. But we'll briefly touch over them now. And,
we would be remiss if we did not.
Touch over the big ones. I know there are a lot of games that were released, a lot of games that were talked about. We're not going to go over them all, though. We're gonna go over the
Nope.
ones that that we thought were big and that we played, because only our opinions matter.
It is true. All right.
All right. So I don't know if I have the same list as you do. I think I do. Yeah. So you want to go over the big one first? One of the big ones. Let's go over
There were two like really big ones at the beginning of the summer.
Yeah. Let's go over the ones we didn't play first. Actually.
That's a good idea.
All right. So, first one that we haven't played is ironically Ghost of Tsushima, which is a game I was looking forward to playing. I have it. I haven't gotten around to playing it, but I've heard it's really good. I know it generated a lot of buzz, and it looked cool. Hopefully, by the time this next video is out, I'll have had some time to play it and kind of get acquainted with it, so I can give a review. So that's something to look out for next week. Just a brief review. I know it's been out for a while, so it'll be very late, but you know, working with what I got here. Next of us is The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, people have definitely been talking about this game ever since it released. A lot of controversy over the whole thing, I guess. Like generally, people are saying the gameplay is good, but there's a lot of controversy about the story and the ending, especially. I did not play it, so I don't really have an opinion on it for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part, I've just seen a little bit of the gameplay, and I haven't really played it. I didn't play the first Last of Us. It's not really my style of game. From what I've seen, I think my biggest complaint about The Last of Us 2 is all the walking and dry dialogue. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure when it gets in the action-packed moments, it's really fun. But once again, it doesn't look like my kind of game. I hope the people that got it were satisfied with it, but I know that a lot of people that got it weren't really satisfied with it for a lot of different reasons. Some of them more valid than others, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, something I will say now that I think about it, just from watching people play the game and watching some trailers and stuff online, it seems like this shooter is taking a very realistic and a very almost like a very dark sort of tone in its violence and its action. Like when you get into a fight in the game, it feels very real, and a lot of people are kind of having to take a step back for after they play it for a bit. Generally, if I play a game, especially a shooter or a game with violence, I need it to be kind of slapstick, or I need it to be kind of over the top, just so it's kind of disconnected from realism. But I think that's the main thing that has kind of kept me away from this game, is just how real a lot of the stuff is.
The next game that we're going to talk about is I don't know. It's one that neither of us played, but I know you're familiar with the franchise. It's Paper Mario: The Origami King.
Right. It is that came out over the summer. It's a Paper Mario, which is the titular and celebrated Mario RPG series. It came to Switch, kind of just got dropped.
Yeah.
They dropped the trailer and they dropped the game really quick, and it caught a lot of people by surprise.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who play Paper Mario and a lot of people who were disappointed with how the series has been going, because like we talk a lot about how certain Nintendo franchises would get dropped, like Punch Out and Star Fox.
F-Zero. Metro will be there. Don't worry.
No, they're making another game.
Oh,
They
yeah,
said
I'm
they
sure.
were.
You keep saying
They
that,
said they
but
were
I
making
don't.
another game.
You keep saying they're making another game, but where is it? The Nintendo Vault next to Pikmin.
I don't know. So that's.
But
yeah, but the Paper Mario fans really have been done dirty for quite a while. But apparently this one has gotten mixed to positive reviews, where before they were all negative. So I think they're happy. I think this one's pretty good. So I'm glad that's going for them.
Yes. Another game that came out recently that neither of us are probably going to play because it is Marvel's Avengers. Looks okay.
Yeah, apparently it's all right. Is what people are saying. I've talked to a couple of people who've played it, and apparently, like, it's something the game does really well is like the story. The story is really good, and there's like a sense of like apparently it takes a long time to unlock each Avenger. Like you start out with Miss Marvel, and then you get like the Hulk pretty quickly, but like every time you unlock a new hero, it's like a big thing
Right.
that feels like really cinematic and important. So
That's
I'll
interesting.
give him props for that at least.
That's interesting because like in order for that kind of system to work, you kind of have to have like the heroes that you do have be really interesting and have a lot of depth that you go want to keep playing as them. But like they can last until you get the next hero. So I don't know if that's something that happened. I assume that since it apparently, I guess, has good reviews.
Yeah, it's doing pretty good. Like each hero feels really different, so you're
Right.
gonna have your own favorite, but they're each kind of given. There's kind of missions that each one can excel at if you want to like go that way. So I think it's pretty balanced and pretty good from what I've heard. But again, I've not played it. I probably never will. That's just how it goes.
Right. It's just never not going to be a good game though unless it has Blade in it. I got to play with my vampire.
I need
dude.
Ghost Rider.
Honestly, those two were the pillars of my Ultimate Alliance team. Like if I didn't have them, I was like, what's the point?
Yeah, and if I don't buy the Sony version, I can't play Spider-Man. Apparently,
Well,
that's pretty whack. Sony, what's the deal there?
it's pretty.
I'm calling you
whack.
out. You thought I'd forget, but I didn't.
He remembers. He always remembers.
Oh,
All right.
Never
Well, that
forget.
was the list of games that we haven't played. Now we're going to get into the games that we have played. First of which is, I think the least of them, is Fall Guys.
I'm not gonna. I don't
Yeah.
want to touch it.
I played it. It's okay. It's like an obstacle course game. Like, so it's free. Or at least it was free for me. It's not free for everybody. I had PlayStation and they gave it away for free, and I played it, and I was like, this should be free. Hope they don't make other people pay $60 for this because it's not really worth it. But for what it was fun. Yeah, I haven't gotten a crown yet, but I also haven't played it that much. I think I've played like 10 games so far, and I always get out on round 2. So, but yeah, we'll see.
I do think it is interesting to go from like a world previously where like battle royale games were super competitive and like pretty difficult to get into because they have like a really high skill cap, going to a world where like it's so unbalanced that it's kind of balanced. Like it's chaotic for everybody and everyone has like an equal chance of winning, kind of.
Let's go over a game that came out around the time that this whole thing started. And this is a game I was looking forward to reviewing. It's Final Fantasy VII Remake. So,
How was that?
Logan hasn't played this one. I guess I kind of doubled up on my games that I played, but Final Fantasy VII Remake, it was a really good game, and it was pretty much everything I had hoped for. The combat was excellent. That was probably the highlight of it. Every time you get into combat, it's one of those games where like every time you get into combat, you always have a great time. The combat never got old, and I don't say that about a lot of games. Like a lot of games, like the combat can get kind of stale, and you're like, well, like an instance, Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is a great game, but I kind of got a little bit tired of the combat by the end of it. I did not get tired of Final Fantasy VII Remake. That said, it might be because Final Fantasy VII Remake is a shorter game than Breath of the Wild. So I'll be fair.
That's probably that might be it.
Yeah. The next game that we're going to talk about is I think it's a game that you have played. Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Animal Crossing New Horizons. This this game got a lot of like. It kind of came out at the perfect time for a lot of people who were trapped inside and couldn't go see their friends, so they would just do it on Animal Crossing. So, that's pretty cool. It's basically just more Animal Crossing in a lot of ways. I think it's the best one so far in terms of like added content and making the game more playable. But really, I say this every time I talk about Animal Crossing. If you like a slow burn, it's a good game. If you don't, you'll stop playing it in about 2 months. I still pick it up every now and then and play a little bit. but I'm not playing as hard as I was before because I've kind of run the whole gauntlet on everything there is to do. But if you like to just have a very chill experience with a lot of small animals that you have to take care of, Animal Crossing is definitely a game you should check out.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Probably not, actually, because this is way after the fact. Anyways,
You bought it for $60. You haven't touched it at all, have you?
I touched it for 10 minutes. Yeah, I should go back and play that or do something. Maybe I'll let it run for 10 hours so I can say that I gave it a try. Next game is a game that we were both kind of looking forward to. Doom Eternal. I know that Logan got into the Doom franchise when it came to the Switch. Not the whole franchise, but Doom 2016
the
when
more
it came
recent,
to the Switch.
yeah.
I played it on a friend's Xbox and then again on my PlayStation 4. I think we can both say that Doom 2016 is probably one of the best games in recent memory. Maybe like one of the best games like ever.
It's probably one of the best like cinematic shooters of all time.
Yeah.
I think it's my favorite Doom at the very least. And those are pretty big shoes to fill.
Right. As far as Doom Eternal goes, though, I'm not. Doom Eternal is. Let me say this: Doom Eternal is a good game. It does a lot of things right. I think, in many ways, it does expand upon Doom 2016 in correct ways, and in other ways, it either overdoes it or bloats itself and adds unnecessary things that kind of bog the game down for me personally. Now, I will say there are a lot of people out there who got really good at the game and they can make Doom Eternal sing with how they play it, but I like a more focused experience, and there's just a lot. There's a lot with Doom Eternal, and the aesthetic change is so different. The kind of mood change. They go from a very like cool, like heavy sci-fi feel on Doom 2016 to a very video gamey feel. And I know there are a lot of people who like the original Doom games that are all for that, and that's great for them. But I feel like they hit a great modern Doom note in 2016, and they kind of jumped away from that. So I'm not personally a fan. But I don't get to. Maybe that's why I'm not sitting at id Software making games, because I don't have good taste. So.
Well, we'll talk about id Software a little bit more in a bit, but
yeah, Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
Have you got to play it at all, Logan?
I have played about 5 minutes, and I'm a little disappointed with a lot of the stuff they do. As far as like you said, presentation and atmosphere and stuff. Like I played the old Doom games, and I really did like what they were doing in 2016 better. And we're kind of going backwards. It feels in a lot of ways, but I'd still get it if you like Doom or if you like high-paced shooter games.
Yeah, everything in Doom 2016 kind of felt like part of the environment, but there's like going through Eternal, and there's just like this big glowing icons and like glowing walls, and you're just like, yeah, it's a video game. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Like, oh yeah, like they really doubled down on that, and a lot of people dig it. I don't. I kind of just liked finding a shotgun in a man's corpse and ripping, or in a corpse's hands and just ripping it out and going ham with it. So, but that was kind of the experience I enjoyed instead of finding power ups. But
it just felt a lot more immersive when you never left the Doom guy's point of view. Like from the moment you start the game to the moment you end it in 2016, you're always seeing things through his eyes.
Right.
And then in the new, in Doom Eternal, you got a lot of third-person cutscenes and big cinematic things that go on. And that's fine.
And
but
they make Doom guy speak, which was the worst thing ever.
Oh no! You can't do that.
I don't even want to get into what they did with the lore. Like this lore is just all over the place. It's really, so awful.
It doesn't really make any sense.
I hate it so much. Like all the other elements of the game, like I can be like, okay, yeah, I understand why you did it. Then I'm like, go to the game and they took something that was really cool in Doom 2016. They took the line where it was rip and tear, where it was kind of cheesy. It was still cool back in the comic, I guess, but it was cheesy. Yeah, it was cheesy. I think we can both agree with that. And they made it cool in 2016, and then they went back and made it stupid.
It's it's so weird because it felt so good to play Doom 2016, and like there was a lot of story going on in the game, but you didn't have to access it if you didn't want to. You could just play through,
Yeah,
like a Doom game.
but it was
if you
weird
felt
because
like
it made you want to go do that. But like, yeah, in Doom Eternal, it feels like a laundry list a lot of times for collectibles, and I'm like, I
it
don't
feels
really
like
want to.
it feels like they're trying to reestablish like a Doom franchise with like a bunch of spin-off games maybe, and like other other games they can you know milk for money. But
Yeah, and there was it's not like there wasn't room for wackiness in 2016. Like they had like little nooks and stuff that you could find that was cool, like Turkey Puncher.
yeah, Turkey Puncher was cool.
But yeah, I think that kind of summarizes our thoughts on Doom Eternal, which we talked a lot more than the other games. But you know,
We have strong opinions on Doom.
yeah.
It's,
Another game that came out recently, actually, that we've got to play that we didn't get to cover because it came out recently for our first show, is Mario 3D Collection.
yeah, 3D All-Stars. This is a game that people have been talking about or wanting ever since the original Mario All-Stars became a thing. It's basically like a collection of the best, I say best, quote unquote, but the best older 3D titles in the series. You got Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and then the first Mario Galaxy game all in one package for the Switch. Husky, you've been playing this a lot more than I have. I've kind of been going at my own pace, but you're just burning through these games, aren't you?
I burned through 64 because that was probably the one I was least looking forward to playing. That game is, I didn't realize that as a kid, and probably because I had more time and I only had an N64 to play with, but that game is infuriating to me sometimes. Just the way the physics work and everything, and the way Mario acts, the camera. But
oh my gosh, I watched you play it, and like it was pretty wild just watching you lose your mind.
Yeah, I was straying pretty close to the brink of no return, but I got 70 stars, cleaned my hands of it, and I went to Super Mario Sunshine, which is the second game, which appeared on the GameCube that that appeared on the collection, and it's actually really good.
Yeah, Mario Sunshine is. I've never gotten a chance to play it because it was released for the GameCube and it would never receive like another port. Like 64 has been on almost every single mainline Nintendo console, even like the DS and the 3DS.
Yeah.
But like Sunshine, they haven't touched it all until now, and so
yeah,
like I'm getting to play it for the first time along with a lot of people, and it's pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's out of those games, it's probably my favorite. Well, I haven't actually played Galaxy yet, to be fair, but I really like Sunshine. It's weird because Sunshine is a game that I think is better than I remember, but 64 is a game that's worse than I remember. So
It's
yeah.
64 is like a weird case because it's like the first. It's really like the first good 3D video game.
I can't actually fault it because it's like one of the first, right? So like.
Yeah.
You know, it had a lot of limitations, and a lot of what they were doing was experimental, and they were just learning as they went. So yeah, I mean, it was good for its time, but like Ocarina of Time. But you know, as time goes,
even like
the flaws become more glaring.
A lot of people still play 64 to this day, and like speedrunning has become like a really big thing. So I know if you put enough time into it, it's possible to be like really, really good and be able to like play the game like a fiddle and do all kinds of incredible things. But I don't have. I'm still in college. I need to get a job. I got things to do. I don't have enough time.
Yeah, I got you. I haven't got to play Galaxy yet, but I'm looking forward to that. But so far, 3D Collection, really fun. That's my review. There it is.
Yep. I'm really looking. I'm kind of saving Galaxy for last, if I'm being honest. I think that's the only one that I'm going to run through and get 100% done.
I don't know about that.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to run through it 100%, and then I'm going to do it again as Luigi. But the Galaxy is my favorite 3D Mario, and I'm really hoping it's a good port for the Switch.
All right. Well, moving on, we're jumping into the second part of the meet, and this is kind of a big thing because it happened recently, and there was a lot of stuff to go over for it. I'll try to keep it concise. But recently, Sony had a showcase where it was featuring the PS5 and games surrounding that, and it was really, really exciting for me. Maybe not
That's
everybody.
right, Eli. Everyone who's anyone is talking about the Sony showcase.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely not anything else.
This is like the first shot of this console war. Like, they announced PlayStation 5, they announced the new Xbox, and then they just sat there for like a month. They didn't even tell us what the prices were.
It's weird. Like, I think most consumers are over the price war. Like, I think everybody's kind of come to the conclusion that exclusives are anti-consumer or something. I don't know, but
I would disagree. At this point, I think exclusives are the only thing that are selling these consoles.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, and once those are kind of gone, everybody's gonna probably be starting to move to PC. But yeah,
everyone's going to be playing PC and Nintendo because Nintendo designs their games around weird hardware.
Nintendo does what Nintendo don't. Wait.
Wait, hold on. What are you saying? But yeah, so this, I think I'm going to keep score over the course of this console war. And right now I would put as far like I'd put Sony in the lead because as far as exclusives go, the Xbox, they announced the new Halo and then they retracted that announcement and said it would be delayed into next year. And then immediately after Sony released told us about all these games that are going to be coming on launch.
Yeah.
So
I would say that, I don't know, I feel like they broke even just because I feel like Xbox is kind of measuring the water and they realize that this console thing isn't going to last forever the way that things are going. And they're kind of trying to get on the cloud gaming. But honestly, I kind of hope cloud gaming fails, crashes and burns, and it costs Amazon and Microsoft billions because I hate them both.
Wow, what an old-fashioned way of thinking. Physical copies of games that you have to buy
that I own
with money
that I actually own instead of a digital code that may or may not be revoked if I don't have my internet connection or if I don't conform with company ideals. We are in the outer worlds. That's where we are. Anyways.
You impressed me.
But yeah, Sony had a showcase, and the thing I want to see out of showcases are games, and they had a lot of games that looked really exciting. I'm sure there are a lot of people that are excited for them. Some of the games I was less excited for, but I understand that they're big to a lot of people, so we're gonna go over them.
Yeah,
kind of our thoughts.
We're gonna rush through the smaller or like minor games that we're not gonna talk about a whole lot really quick, so we can get to the bigger discussions.
Yeah, I would say one game that is in the minor category, that probably a lot of people are buzzing about is Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Okay, I got stuff to say about Spider-Man Miles Morales. First of all, I really like the Spider-Man game. I haven't been able to beat it yet, but it's really fun so far. Second of all, they keep calling this one like an add-on campaign. It's DLC.
Really?
They're saying it's not.
I thought it was a whole new game.
They're trying to invent this new term of like they're telling us it's an add-on campaign. That means it's not as big as a full title, but it's too big to be DLC. It's DLC.
So they're selling it for $60.
It's DLC.
Are they still selling it for $60?
Probably. I don't know. I don't know how much they're selling.
Of course they are. All right. I'll look that up right quick. Spider-Man Miles Morales will retail for $59.99 in the U.S.
Oh my god! Why? I know why, but that's
stupid.
Anyways, that's great.
I'm not really a big Spider-Man guy. I was always more of a Batman guy, but I know you as a Spider-Man guy, this hurts a lot, and it makes me happy when you hurt Logan.
I know. I like Miles Morales. Like I like the character, and I am actually excited to see what happens in this DLC chapter of the game. But not enough to pay $60.
Yeah, not enough. I didn't even pay $60 for the original. So
great.
But yeah, I don't know. So, it's interesting. The Miles Morales gameplay, at the very least, it looked really fun. It looked cool. It looks like the regular Spider-Man game with a few
Yeah, he's got
added
some
cool
added,
things.
right.
So I am looking forward to seeing more of that game.
So am I.
Probably not gonna buy it though.
Next up on the list, looks like we got Hogwarts Legacy
The biggest
coming
title
out
of the night.
coming out next year. I'm not a fan of Harry Potter, but I know a lot of people are. And it looks graphically, it looks pretty interesting. I'll give it that.
Yeah, sure. I'm sorry.
Welcome to
I could
J.K.
not be-
Rowling's Twitter, the video game.
Ah! I could not
Discover
care
all.
less about this game, honestly. Like
Yeah,
the whole culture around like the IP, and then like the fact that I'd never really gotten to Harry Potter, anyways. It'll probably be okay.
now that I think about it, like this video game is set like before the events of the books, so it's a prequel, so it is kind of like J.K. Rowling's Twitter, the video game.
Gross.
Discover all the things you didn't want to know about Harry Potter's characters.
Anyways, DMC 5, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition is another game that they announced, and that will be coming out November 12th. Right alongside the PS5. So
Great. It's another sort of add-on launch title. If that
yeah,
makes sense. Like it's
except they call it what it is, Special Edition. It has DLC. You can
Right.
play as Virgil, though.
that's cool. I like
Virgil
Virgil.
is cool. Yeah, I'm actually a little bit excited about that. It looks cool, even though I suck at Devil May Cry, and I probably won't play this game because I suck at it. I'm really hyped for all the Devil May Cry fans out there because I'm like, you guys get to play as Virgil. That basically makes you cool in my eyes. So
Virgil is basically the Luigi of the Devil May Cry series, so it's nice to see him getting his own.
yeah, if Luigi tried routinely to kill Mario, sure, and not the other way around. We know your secret, Mario.
You don't know. You don't know. You might.
He might. Who knows? But yeah, I'm excited. It looks cool. If you haven't played Devil May Cry 5, don't watch this trailer because it does have
No.
spoilers in it.
Gives away a lot of spoilers.
Just get the special edition and play it and figure it out for yourself, like a
Mhm.
real gamer, not a gamer.
Like
who
a real
cheats.
gamer with a challenge from Husky. All right. Next up on the bracket, we got Deathloop coming out next year.
It looks cool.
It looks really cool. I like the style. It's got like a 70s assassin sort of Bond vibe
Yeah.
to it.
I think it revolves around basically your character. Like the main character is I forgot what his name is. I'm bad at these names, but you're basically going around trying to assassinate all these targets while you're also being targeted for assassination. But like every time you die, you rewind it, and you're trying to get it to where you can kill them all in one night, right? So
Yeah, you're in like this big time loop, and you need to kind of learn the methods and habits of each of your targets, so you can kind of group them together or find out like a cause and effect way to deal with each one.
So I think it'll be interesting to say the least. It almost comes off as like a spiritual successor to the Dishonored games, because
Ooh,
like
I like Dishonored.
like the way it kind of wants you to be creative about how you go about it and kill these things. But like I think it doubles down on it, so you'll probably get more gameplay out of this one than the first Dishonored. Because I went through Dishonored really fast, the first one at least. I didn't play the
Same.
other ones, so.
Dishonored's like one of those games you got to replay over and over. I think, or that's the idea, is you got to do it in a bunch of different ways. I didn't have the patience though. So.
Well, I knew if I played it over again, I wouldn't have the patience to go through and get the perfect ending again. So,
Right.
which was already boring because in order to get the perfect ending in a game about assassination, you have to not kill very many people. So,
It's lame.
yeah, a little bit. But this game is all about killing people. You'll probably get a good ending no matter how many people you kill, as long as you survive by the end of the night.
Speaking of nights, the next game on our bracket, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, is the next entry in the endless cosmic anomaly that is the Five Nights at Freddy's game.
I never thought we'd
Didn't
be
show much
talking
in the
about.
trailer. What?
I never thought we'd be talking about Five Nights at Freddy's on this show.
We've been doing this show for like 3 years now, and we've been talking about Five Nights like briefly, as little as possible throughout the whole thing. I'm just amazed it's lasted this long.
Yeah.
But this could be a turning point in the series because this time you had legs and you
Wow.
can move. Maybe. I don't know.
But yeah, I don't know. Looks okay.
Sure, it'll be good
If you're
for
in
anyone
Five
who's.
Nights at Freddy's, I'm sure you peed your pajamas when you saw it. So me, on the other hand, I saw it and I was like, cool. When do we get to the good games? Please. This is 45 minutes long. Let's speed it up.
I got things to do. I got places to be.
But yeah. Anyways, that game looks okay. The next game that we're going to talk about is another game that a lot of people are excited for. It comes from the PS1. It's like a sequel. Oddworld Soulstorm. It looks good. It looks weird. And I know Oddworld is all about that weirdness and goodness. So, once again, you are freeing your kinsmen from the evil mega corporation. I don't know what the corporation is called or what the governing entity is called. I haven't ever played Oddworld, but I'm digging that weirdness and I'm digging that goodness. So if you see that game and you play it, you let us know how it was, because we don't have enough money to buy it and play it. What do you think? Just buy
We're
games
broke.
and play them? I go to college.
We got to be selective about the things we purchase.
That's why I bought the 3D World collection. I'm going to spend $60 on 3 games that I've already played because I know I'm going to get value. No. But yeah, it looks weird. It looks cool. It looks interesting. It's big on platforming and puzzle solving, as far as I know. So that'll be cool to see.
I'm
what
sure
it's
it'll be
about.
great.
Plus the dark humor is always welcome.
The last thing they announced for PlayStation 5 was the PlayStation Plus collection, which is coming out November 12th, same day as the PlayStation 5. It's got a bunch of the older PlayStation titles. I think about 18.
Which is, I know it's
18,
not as big as
gosh.
100, but all of these games are almost all of these games are actually good, and you don't have to
Yep.
play them over Wi-Fi, which
It's
makes them
incredible.
infinitely better than those 100 games that's coming out with Amazon Luna.
Right. The PlayStation Plus collection is coming with, some of the featured games: God of War, Last of Us Remastered, Arkham Knight, Persona 5, Resident Evil, Biohazard. Oh, and Bloodborne. Bloodborne's there too. Can't have PlayStation exclusive content without Bloodborne.
That's the big thing. That's probably the game that made the PlayStation, honestly. PlayStation
It really
4.
is. PlayStation, 4, I guess. Because it was one of the only exclusives they had at launch.
And then God of War came out, and then
Then Spider-Man, and just kept
Spider-Man.
going and going.
Yep. All right. And then, yeah. But yeah, so I'm really excited. Everybody who's getting a PS5 is, you're going to have plenty of games to play, because all of those are free as long as you have PS Plus, which isn't that much. So,
Excellent.
play it. Well, I can't believe they're giving away Monster Hunter World for free, but I guess it makes sense because it's pretty much at the end of its life cycle. And by November, it'll be 2 months after its life cycle is over when they're not getting any more updates. So
Maybe that's when they'll start the paid DLC, and you'll have to pay for that.
they're not doing any more DLC for Monster Hunter World.
All right, if you say so.
I do say so, and I'm right. So don't question me on that, because I know where you're sitting right now.
Wish I knew where I was sitting. When are you going to let me out of this room?
No. Anyways.
All right, so this brings us to the 4
The
really big
Majora's.
titles that we were excited for on the
Yes.
show.
I'm gonna go.
Wanna
Let's
talk
go over the one that we know about the least, which is God of War 5.
Yeah, they basically said, hey, we're doing God of War 5, and that was it.
I'm like, okay, I'm in. Let's see something about it. And like,
Okay.
no, here's a title drop: God of War Ragnarok. Enjoy. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll wait a year.
Getting that Elder Scrolls 7 or Elder Scrolls 6 and Metroid Prime 4 treatment, baby.
Oh my gosh. Oh well,
gotta drop
I
it.
can wait. I'd rather it be a good game than a rush game, but yeah. It's good to know that it's being developed, even though I kind of already assumed that. Like, no, they're not going to make another God of War game. They've made 4. Now 5.
Just gonna end on a
Actually, technically
cliffhanger,
6.
and then that'll be it.
Made a game that we do know a lot about, because they've gone over it a lot. They've did a big trailer, and everything, and then they finally showed us some gameplay. It's one of those. It's at Demon Souls.
Ooh,
It's one of
Demon
those
Souls. That
games.
is
Yeah, it's one of those games that kind of divided people a little bit for the FromSoft games or that are fans of the Souls-like games because they changed it a lot. They definitely graphically amped it up. They changed the aesthetic a little bit. I like the mood that they're showing in this gameplay, and I don't believe for 1 second that any of those enemies actually dies in one hit.
no. That's a no, no, no. That'd be way too easy. They showed us a lot of like a quick, I guess 5 minute bit of gameplay. Probably not even that, more like 3 minutes. But what I saw looks very good. Graphically, this seems like the cleanest Souls game they've done so far. A little bit rough around the edges, like your character, a lot of the attacks are kind of clipping through his shield
Yeah,
and stuff. But I mean,
it's still Demon
it's
Souls. It's just remade, so
yeah,
it looks better than Dark Souls remastered. That game sucked.
got him, dude.
But yeah, this game looks at least very cool looking. I like the thing. I'd like the camera to be a little bit further back. I think people have talked about that, but I don't know. I don't know if I'll even play it. I'm going to be honest.
I'm probably not going to play it, but I'll watch people play it at the very least. I liked the way all the enemies looked. They looked a bit more Faust. Like a lot of the enemies in Dark Souls 3, which is the one I've seen the most gameplay footage of, look like big piles of garbage and stuff, which is fine. That's an aesthetic they want to go for. But like each enemy in this trailer, I could tell kind of what they were. Like one was like a big, monster-looking guy. Another was like a big spider. Then there was a dragon. I got what was happening at the very least.
Right.
These are the two that both of us are really really excited for one of them.
Yeah. We both
Uh,
popped off for one of these. So,
Right.
which one do you want to go over first?
Let's save yours for last because I feel like yours is like the one that's going to sell the most consoles at this point. They announced Resident Evil 8 or Resident Evil Village as they're calling it. We're going back. We're going back to the village, baby.
Is it really the same village?
It looks really similar.
Right.
Like it looks really, really similar.
I think
I
they're
hope it's the same one.
I think they're taking Resident Evil 4 and being like, what if we made it all scary though?
That's kind of what it probably won't all be scary, but it looks like they're taking Resident Evil 7, like that aesthetic and that style, and they're running with it for a bit. So we're probably going to get a lot more like realistic, scary stuff and first-person action. But they're probably going to. It's Resident Evil, so they're going to throw some wacky stuff in there at least by the end of it.
Right. It definitely looks really cool. I'm digging the aesthetic for it, especially when I think my favorite shot was at the very end when the camera panned up to look at that huge castle, and I'm like,
Yeah, the
are you actually going to
castle.
get to explore all of that? Because if you are, I'm very excited. And that's basically Castlevania in first person.
I can't wait to do the quick time events from from Resident Evil 4 all over again.
I can't wait to punch a boulder again. It's Chris
I can't wait
Redfield. But yeah,
Oh boy.
it almost gives a Silent Hill vibe a little bit, just a little bit.
I think they're definitely kind of leaning that way. Like with there was a bit of like that to Resident Evil 7. Like they were kind of teasing at Silent Hill, but I think this time they're fully going into the weird mysticism stuff. Which is like the village is a great place to do that too.
Right.
It's got that gothic oppressiveness that you were talking about just now.
Right.
All right, this is the big one. This is the enchilada that everyone wants a taste of.
Definitely was the most interesting thing for me that they went over during the showcase, and that was Final Fantasy 16. Looks good.
Yeah.
A lot of the action. First of all, I will say I love the look of the main character.
Mhm.
I love the aesthetic that they're going with more like medieval fantasy / almost Lovecraftian horror.
Yeah.
It looks really cool. I really hope that it, like Final Fantasy 7, that the combat is really fun and really makes me want to keep playing.
It's like I think I mentioned this when we were watching. Like the chocobos all look really angry.
Yeah,
feels
they
like-
don't look cutesy like they did in other games, but
Yeah,
that's
this-
probably a design choice.
this feels like uh, Final Fantasy for big boys. You know, like
Yeah.
everything seems a lot more serious, a lot more. It's kind of got like a Witcher vibe to it a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like that was probably one of the big inspirations for maybe who knows, but it definitely strikes that chord a little bit. It's very interesting because a lot of the other Final Fantasy games have like magitech or like some kind of tech element to it, but this one definitely doesn't. This is full bore, just fantasy. It looks like if there's magitech in the game, it was not. I did not see it in the trailer. It looks really cool, and I'm almost certainly going to get it and play it. Um, just for the cool enemy design alone. Just the enemies that we saw looked really interesting.
It's like Final Fantasy is kind of ever since some of the newer titles, they've kind of been drifting farther and farther away from RPG and more into like action game.
Yeah. I think the
And it feels
RPG elements or the turn-based elements are completely gone at this point. I don't think we'll ever see them return. So,
yeah, there's probably going to be like spin-off titles or whatever, but like
right.
there's I think for the mainline series we're going full action RPG for the
Right.
most part, which is cool because I can actually play those games
Yeah.
and not throw up.
Yeah,
Oof.
I'm definitely looking forward to this game. I'm completely on board with what they're doing. Yeah. I don't know when it
Looks
comes
great.
out though. There's no. I just know that it's in development, and it looks like they've developed it far enough to where they showed stuff, but they still don't have a release date. So it's good chance this is going to be a really, really long game.
Yeah, it's weird because like they showed a good amount of gameplay, like enough for you to get kind of a feel of what they were doing, and they showed like a lot of cutscene footage. So this is probably going to be a long one.
I just hope I'm not confused at the very least through the story. I like to know what's happening. So
Yeah.
there's some Final Fantasy games where I'm like I don't follow what's happening, and I feel like I should because there are other people that I'm sure love the story, but I'm just like it's weird. Just be direct about what you wanted to say. But that was what we took from this showcase. It was all really cool, and of course they showed one last thing before they took the stream offline and just made it. They revealed the PS5 release date, which is November 12th. And they also revealed the prices for it, which is $4.99 for the standard and $3.99 for the digital discless version, which is interesting because Xbox has also revealed they revealed it prior to this reveal. The Xbox prices were I think $4.99 for the standard and then $2.99 for the digital. So
How the tables will turn.
how the tables have turned if I wanted a digital thing. I like to own my games, so
I think I'm leaning more towards the digital stuff just because
yeah,
you know
it's convenient, but like I don't know. I something inside of me keeps telling me that this is a bad idea to keep going this direction. Physical media isn't dead. This whole PS5 showcase kind of comes on the back end of that Xbox reveal, and then after the PS5 showcase, Xbox actually made a big gamer move. They purchased ZeniMax, which by extension means they purchased Bethesda.
Yep, that's right.
So Microsoft
Is now the owner of Bethesda Softworks. That includes all the IPs that Bethesda owns. We're talking Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Doom, all of them. They got them all.
All of them.
A lot of them all.
On the on the upside, at least Fallout can't get any worse.
At least they'll finish their games. Let's just say that. At least they'll have the money, hopefully, to finish their games.
Yeah, at the very least.
Money was the issue.
Maybe the next Elder Scrolls will actually release.
I wouldn't hold my breath.
What do you think is going to come out first, Metroid 4 or the next Elder Scrolls?
Every now and then I hear progress on Metroid 4. Let's just say that.
Okay.
And the Nintendo didn't just get bought by a competitor, so
that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to make it all exclusive for Xbox because I think they said with select titles they do, but they do own that. They do own all Bethesda franchises, and they will select where they release at this point.
I'm a little bit excited. Like, as far as Doom goes, I'm kind of like trepidation. I don't want it to become like another Halo, but on the Fallout side of things, I'm kind of excited because maybe we'll get to see some
Good.
some good
Oh
Fallout.
yeah, they own Obsidian as well now. Yeah, so we could
Yeah.
see a return to the New Vegas stylings of things.
That would be really cool. I'd like that a lot.
The
'cause
last good Fallout game.
the last good Fallout game was Outer Worlds, and that felt more like a tech demo for a Fallout game. Like
Yeah,
Outer Worlds was
is
good, but
good. Yeah.
it was like really short, and the area, like the game wasn't very big. But like, you know, now they got that Microsoft money, maybe they can, you know.
We can pump that baby up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was a $7.5 billion deal for that. So obviously, Microsoft thinks it's worth it.
I mean, yeah, I'd buy Doom if I could, if I had the money. It just, you know.
The bottom line is, if you don't want to buy an Xbox, almost all of these things are going to release on PC because that's what Microsoft's pretty much releasing all their exclusives on PC at this point. So,
and to be fair, a lot of Microsoft games do come out on the Switch, so you're probably still going to see some of those. I don't think they're going to. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I don't think they're going to cancel Doom Eternal for the Switch, which is supposed to come out, I think Christmas this year.
Yeah.
Sometime in December.
I think that kind of results as that partnership that Nintendo and Microsoft, that soft partnership that they have. They aren't really super competitors right now. They kind of, Nintendo has their world and Microsoft has theirs, so there's just kind of like a little bit of bleed in between. So
yeah, Microsoft has kind of been, I think, they talked about not necessarily competing with Sony and Nintendo. They said something to that effect earlier this year, and we kind of laughed it off. But like, I think that might be the best way to go in the near future, to kind of just set yourself up as something that can just make games for, you know, everything.
Right. Who knows? Maybe
like Sega.
Maybe we're seeing the last days of the Xbox line. Maybe the PS4 too. The PlayStation also. If this, I don't know. It's weird. Like I didn't dislike anything I saw in the PlayStation 5 thing, but like I'm getting this feeling, this real ominous feeling about the way things are gonna go for this generation. So I haven't had this feeling since the Wii U came out.
I think this was like the weirdest console launch I've ever seen. Like neither one of them both of them just stayed quiet for a long time. I don't know if that was because of COVID or because of like how
they were waiting for the other one.
Yeah, it might have just been a stalemate. I think both of them have kind of been pressured by how convenient it is to just buy a PC at this point. Like you can build a computer that is just as strong as a PlayStation 5. Like you can do it.
Probably stronger. Actually, definitely stronger. And that will last a lot longer. That has a lot more. I think has probably a lot more shelf life.
Yeah. And like right now, not many people know how to do that, but I think that's going to change as technology is easier to access, as people become more savvy to it. So I think eventually it's not going to be, consoles are going to have to change, or the way they're packaged is going to be different.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think we've already kind of seen the beginning of that with how much stuff you can do like on your PlayStation and Xbox.
I agree. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they kind of grow, how these companies grow and adapt to this rapidly changing environment, and whether the Amazon Luna is, and the way people are kind of jumping towards cloud gaming, or these companies are, how that's going to change the landscape of gaming. Yeah. One game studio, or one game company that is not changing, regardless of anything happening around it, because they are obstinate and awesome, and we love them, is Nintendo. Who had a Nintendo Partner Showcase in which they showed a lot of games, but only two of them mattered. And that's Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter Stories 2. So we aren't going to talk about that for today's show. We will talk about it, though, on next show, because by then, TGS will have come out, and by the time you're watching this, TGS probably has already come out. Anyways, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what you think of this new format, this pre-recorded format. By the time this uploads, there should be some editing done, and it should look pretty nice. But yeah, just let us know what you thought. You guys have been listening to the Doghouse. Be sure to tune in next week.
Stay frosty, y'all.
Somewhere,
I'm literally like
undisclosed location.
I'm in a secret gaming bunker.